Horse Talk Live is back on Rural Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80, taking your questions on all things horse at 855-328-8080.
Welcome back, everybody, to Horse Talk Live on Rural Radio. I'm Lizzie Iverson, and today our show is revolving around the world of bucking horses. We got this idea to focus the show on that today because today is the day we announced our first exemption for the American, and it happens to be Dan Mortensen, who's a 6-time world champion saddle bronc rider. He is going to be on RFD TV tonight to answer any questions that you have. Flint Rasmussen, host of Western Sports Roundup, is going to be the host tonight on RFD TV. They'll also be on Western Sports Roundup, so after today's show, you can stick around and call in should you have any questions, want to talk rodeo with those two fellas. We're going to talk now to Bobby Pecora and talk about his association. It's called World Class Bucking Horse Association. Bobby, how are you today?
Good, Lizzie. How are you doing today?
Not too shabby. We're, sitting here talking bucking horses, and there's not a better person to talk to than yourself. I
like talking about the bucking horses.
Well, this is what you're dedicating your life to these days, and it's pretty unique. It's, we hear a lot about fraternities in the performance horse world, and bucking horses are a performance horse as well. So it makes sense that you have those sort of competitions as well. So tell us a little bit about World Class and why it was started and what your intention is here.
Well, World Class Bucking Horse Association was started with the intentions of bringing horses out of the woodwork that we've never seen before, bringing 4- and 5-year-old saddle broncs to the public's eyes, and to showcase the breeding programs that these contractors, breeders that they have, and it's been very successful.
Okay. So what got you in the business? Have you always been in the rodeo biz?
Yeah, I always rodeoed, and I rode broncs for a long time, and I've seen over the years how the prize money and things got better for the cowboys, but I never did see where they did a whole lot for the contractors. And by having these competitions, it allows these breeders and contractors to bring 3 of their best 4- and 5-year-old saddle broncs and compete for prize money, and it's good for the whole industry.
Okay. So as you got started, was it difficult to get the word out and get people to bring their horses to participate?
Well, when I first got started, my one hesitation was, is there enough horses out there to handle all the events? This year we've had 10 events with our finals coming up in Kalispell on October 19th as our Cinch Bucking Horse Championships. We're up to the point now, thanks to Cinch, we got 50,000 added for that event. But as time went on, I learned that we buck 300 to 350 head of horses a year, and then we narrow that down to the top 45, and it's good watching.
No kidding. So how many, when you have one event, how many different contractors are coming and bringing horses typically?
Well, thanks to Cinch and the extra added money, most of the time we try to have just 12 contractors, but most events we had this year, we've had anywhere from 18 to 22 contractors, so we have to go through a sifting system to allow just normally like 15 contractors per day.
Okay. And what about the riders? You mentioned that this is a venue for contractors. What about the riders? Is this a happy medium for both parties involved?
Yes, the riders, they've got a good deal too. I mean, they really like the concept of what we do. A minimum added money for the riders is $3,000. Some events are $5,000, and what we do is everybody gets on 2 head, and they have 2 chances to win. Okay.
And this year, you mentioned October 19th is the finals. Tell us a little bit about what that event's going to be like. And like you mentioned, that's in Kalispell, Montana, which, little shout-out, is my hometown.
Yeah, that's right. It is your hometown.
It is.
It's going to be a very exciting event. It's the Cinch Bucking Horse Championships. The World Class Bucking Horse Association is a vehicle to disqualify for that finals. We'll take the top 45 horses and the top 20 cowboys, and the horses will compete for $50,000 in added money, and the cowboys will compete for $20,000 added money. It's the largest bucking horse event in America today.
Really? So,
yes.
like we mentioned, it's Montana, kind of tucked away up there in northwest Montana. What is the bucking horse scene like up there? Is that the best place for this to be? Are you drawing riders from all over the United States? What's the location mean to your association?
Well, I feel that Kalispell, from the breeder standpoint, is a very good location. We have a lot of Canadian breeders that come. We have breeders from North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Washington. I think it's pretty centrally located as far as the breeders go. And our bronc riders pretty much come from them same areas also.
Okay. Well, if anybody has a question, I know we're winding down on today's program, but we do have some more time. If you want to get a question in for Bobby Pecora about World Class Bucking Horse Association, we're here at 855-328-8080. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion about World Class Bucking Horse Association out of Northwest Montana. We'll be right back. Everybody, stick around.
Bringing horse lovers together, Horse Talk Live will return in just a moment on Rural Radio, Sirius XM 80.
Do you want to win a free 3-night stay at the famous Big Cedar Lodge in Branson, Missouri? For you and your family? Well, tune in to Rural Radio and call in a question to our newest show, Bass Pro Shops Fishing, Hunting, and Conservation Hour, which is live Saturday mornings at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Every caller taken on the air will be entered into the October 1st drawing. Join me, Rob Keck, your host each weekend, for the only national radio show on Sirius XM that's devoted to hunters and anglers. Bass Pro Shops Fishing, Hunting, and Conservation Hour is a great source for tips and information for everyone from beginners to experienced sportsmen and women. So call Bass Pro Shops Fishing, Hunting, and Conservation Hour, found exclusively on Rural Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80, and enter to win a 3-day stay at Big Cedar Lodge. Call us toll-free at 855-328-8080.
Nebraska is a lot like an iceberg. Hold up, let me explain. When many people decide to simply drive through our fine state, they're missing out on a lot of charming, interesting, and even amazing things that can make the journey as memorable as the destination. So when you look just under the surface, you'll discover what this so-called drive-through state is really all about. See? An iceberg. Maybe it's more of a visual analogy. Go to visitnebraska.com and discover more of Nebraska.
Hey everybody, I'm Flint Rasmussen.
And I'm Alexis Bloomer.
We want to invite you to join us Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time for Western Sports Roundup. Right here on Rural Radio, Sirius XM 80, the Agribusiness and Western Lifestyle Network.
We will be bringing you all the latest in news and entertainment from the world of Western sports, as well as interviews with the athletes and personalities that are out there on the road.
It's Western Sports Roundup right here on Rural Radio, Sirius XM 80.
Horse Talk Live is back on Rural Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80, taking your questions on all things horse at 855-328-8080.
All right, everybody, we are back for more Horse Talk Live on Rural Radio. I'm Lizzie Iverson, and today we're speaking with Bobby Pecora. We're talking about the World Class Bucking Horse Association. So, Bobby, I know in some of the other interviews I've done, there is some concern about the participation, the numbers of bronc riders these days. What do you think this is another way to help increase, getting people on the backs of horses at rodeos?
Yeah, when we first started this deal, I was looking at a scholarship program and to let young kids come and get on some horses and get more people involved in the bronc riding. I think it's a great opportunity to where the younger kids can come and get on, and that's one of our goals.
Okay, and what do you think about as far as crowd participation or spectator? Are you drawing a good crowd and getting a little bit more attention drawn to this this event?
Yeah, the crowd, they just love it. It's hard for them to understand it at first until they go to one. Uh-huh. But if one person goes to one, next time there's 3 more that go because of that person just loved it. It's good watching. These colts are just a jump out there, and you don't know exactly which way they're going to go. It's really good watching. It's very very entertaining. We had at Miles City this year, we probably had 7,000 people in the stands.
Wow.
And they just loved it.
Sure. So during an event, do you announce bloodlines and, to give that horse some recognition, or the breeding program recognition?
Yes, we have our standings, and we talk about the bloodlines, the best we can. At the same time, we're trying to run a production.
Yeah.
But the thing that's exciting for me is it gives all the breeders a chance to play. I mean, like our number one contractor right now to this date is Steve Wagon out of Botno, North Dakota, and he's got an awesome breeding program, and he's just, I guess, for lack of better words, he's an amateur contractor, but in my mind, he's one of the best in the world.
Okay, and these contractors, these breeders, are they doing the same? I know you're familiar with the performance horse world, those cow horses and such. Is it the same basic situation here, when it comes to pedigrees and how we choose a stud horse and a mare?
Oh, so much so.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the bucking horse breeding programs, people are starting to realize how important it is to keep track of these bloodlines and to know what crosses work, such as the same as in the cow horse deal or the quarter horse deal or whatever. We've also put together a genetics program that we call World Class Genetics, and so we're starting to keep track of how these horses are bred and which colts match up to the other colts. And we started a stallion stakes deal to where the breeders nominate their stallions, and then they enter their colts and pay an extra fee in a side pot. And if that's the highest advancing colts at the event, the top 3 or sometimes 4, depending on how many is entered, then they get to win money in the side pot. And eventually, I'll have that thing built up to a point where it'll pay more than the futurity itself, probably.
Really? So these horses are 4 and 5 years old, and what goes into preparing a horse at that age for an event like this? Well,
it's interesting that you say that. The guys that do their homework at home and they get them colts shoot broke and they get them used to being in the arena, they get them used to being cinched and things like that before they come to an event, they rise to the top. At first, I have a lot of breeders that just run stuff in, and not do their homework with them, and they didn't win nothing. So I think it's bringing a realization to people to make sure that them horses are prepared, just like a cow horse or a reining horse or anything. It takes preparation.
Okay. And, we talked to Kirsten Vold before you about some of the misconceptions that people have about bucking horses and the life that they lead, but I'm sure you would reiterate what she said, that these horses are so well taken care of and are treated just like any other performance horse.
Oh, the care that these guys give them horses is just phenomenal. I mean, if I get reincarnated, I want to come back as a bucking horse. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I see down the road in the future, I see such a thing as bucking horse trainers, to where investors or people, where investors want to get in the bucking horse business, but they don't want to have to raise them. They don't have to do the preparation and stuff. So to where they'll hire somebody to have them horses prepared to go to these futurities.
All right. Well, so obviously you do have some goals and you're looking towards the future. What would you ultimately like to see happen with World Class Bucking Horse Association?
Well, obviously, I'd like to see World Class grow and grow and grow and have as much participation that we can, and to be able to accommodate all the participation that is coming with it. Every year it's getting bigger and bigger, and thanks to Cinch, now the money is getting better and better, and I don't think there's a ceiling on it. I think the sky's the limit. I think there'll be more events spread out over the different parts of the country, and I hope when they go to that, they keep World Class in mind.
Okay. Well, how can folks get involved both on the contracting side as well as riding side?
Well, for the contractors, the way we have it set up is they buy a membership. It's a $300 membership, and they bring 3 colts. It's a 3-horse team at a regular season events. And then the Cowboys, it's a $75 membership, and they just have to send their money into World Class, and they're entered.
Okay. Well, today I'm sure you heard that we have announced that Dan Mortensen, a fellow Montanan, will be participating in RFD TV's The American. Have you heard much about The American, or what do you think about Dan coming back out of retirement?
Well, when I first heard that, I was going to call Dan and say, what the heck are you thinking? No. As far as an exemption, I don't think you can find anybody else that's better than Dan to go. I think it's exciting. I think people will be real excited to see Dan get back on again.
Sure.
I think the whole concept and the format, I think, is great. It's good for the industry, it's good for the sport, and it's going to bring national recognition.
Okay. Well, that's what everybody hopes. And hopefully today we've brought a little recognition to what you're doing. And best place for folks to go to find out more about World Class Bucking Horse Association is just that, worldclassbuckinghorseassociation.com. As we close out the show today, just want to thank you, Bobby, for what you're doing for the world, the sport, the showcasing these great horses and the contractors that are raising them. So thanks for everything, and leave us with some final words and how folks can get in touch with you and head to the finals.
Yes, you can you look on our website at worldclassbuckinghorseassociation.com, or you can personally call me if you need any more information. My number is 406-291-4085. We're looking forward to seeing everybody, and hope to see you there.
Okay. And you're having a barrel race in conjunction with the finals, aren't you?
Yes, the barrel race deal has really gotten big. Yeah, we'll have close to 200 barrel racers running during the day, and then we'll take the top 15 back during the performance that night. Good
deal. Well, I'm sure it's going to be a heck of an event and great exposure for Northwest Montana. Majestic Valley Arena is going to host it. Thanks, Bobby, again for being a part of today's show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Okay, everybody, that's about wrapping it up for today's Horse Talk Live. Again, we want to remind you that any information regarding the American can be found at AmericanRodeo.com, or you can just visit RFDTV.com. Make sure to tune in tonight to RFD-TV and listen today to Western Sports Roundup with Mr. Flint Rasmussen. Dan Mortensen is going to be joining him. Thanks. We'll talk to you next time.
More of the latest from around the equine world next time on Horse Talk, live on Rural Radio Sirius XM 80, the Agribusiness and Western Lifestyle Network.